Imagine being completely alone for just 24 hours. No texts, no calls, no human contact whatsoever. Sounds peaceful, right? But here's what most people don't realize. Your brain starts changing almost immediately, and the effects are far more dramatic than you'd ever expect. Isolation isn't just about feeling lonely. It's a powerful biological stressor that rewires your neural pathways in measurable ways. When you're separated from social contact, your brain treats it like a physical threat. The same alarm systems that alert you to danger start firing continuously. Let's start with what happens in the first few hours. Your brain's social network, a complex system involving the prefrontal cortex and amygdala, begins showing unusual activity. Studies using brain imaging reveal that social isolation activates the same regions that process physical pain. That ache you feel when you're alone, it's neurologically similar to breaking a bone. Your stress hormone cortisol starts climbing within hours of isolation. This isn't just uncomfortable. Elevated cortisol damages the hippocampus, the brain region responsible for memory and learning. People in isolation often report fuzzy thinking and difficulty concentrating. That's your hippocampus struggling under cortisol's assault. But the changes go deeper. Isolation affects your brain's white matter, the connective tissue that allows different regions to communicate. Research on prisoners in solitary confinement shows measurable decreases in white matter integrity after just days. Your brain literally becomes less connected to itself. Sleep patterns deteriorate rapidly during isolation. Without social cues and regular human interaction, your circadian rhythm loses its anchor. The suprachiasmatic nucleus, your brain's master clock, relies partly on social zeitgebers or time givers. Remove these and your sleep-wake cycle drifts unpredictably. Here's something fascinating. Isolation doesn't just make you crave any social contact. It specifically increases your brain's sensitivity to social threats. The anterior insula and dorsal anterior cingulate cortex become hyperactive. You start perceiving neutral social cues as threatening. That's why people emerging from isolation often feel paranoid or overly defensive. Your brain's reward system also transforms. Dopamine pathways that normally fire during pleasant social interactions start misfiring. Some isolated individuals report anhedonia, the inability to feel pleasure from activities they once enjoyed. The nucleus accumbens, your brain's pleasure center, literally becomes less responsive. Extended isolation produces even more dramatic changes. Studies of Antarctic researchers spending months in isolation show shrinkage in the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex. These aren't permanent changes necessarily, but they demonstrate how profoundly environment shapes brain structure. Your brain follows a use it or lose it principle. The default mode network, active when your mind wanders, becomes overactive during isolation. This network involves the medial prefrontal cortex and posterior cingulate cortex. Excessive activity here correlates with rumination and depression. Isolated people often get trapped in negative thought loops they can't escape. Interestingly, not everyone's brain responds identically to isolation. Genetic variations in serotonin transporters influence vulnerability. People with certain gene variants show more dramatic stress responses and faster cognitive decline during isolation. Your DNA partially determines how your brain handles being alone. Age matters tremendously. Adolescent brains are particularly vulnerable because they're still developing crucial social processing circuits. Isolation during formative years can permanently alter how the brain handles social information. Adult brains show more resilience but aren't immune. There's a paradox here though. Brief, voluntary solitude can benefit your brain. Meditation and quiet reflection activate different neural pathways than forced isolation. The key difference is control and intention. When you choose solitude, your brain doesn't trigger the same threat responses. Some isolated individuals develop extraordinary cognitive adaptations. Hostages and prisoners sometimes report heightened sensory awareness and creative thinking. Their brains compensate for reduced social input by amplifying other processing systems. The mind is remarkably plastic. The good news? Most isolation effects are reversible. When social contact resumes, neuroplasticity allows recovery. The hippocampus can regenerate. White matter reconnects, stress hormones normalize, but recovery takes time, often much longer than the isolation period itself. Your brain evolved for social connection over millions of years. Every neural circuit reflects this evolutionary heritage. Isolation forces your brain into a state it wasn't designed to handle. Understanding these mechanisms helps explain why loneliness feels so physically painful and why human connection isn't just nice to have. It's neurologically essential for maintaining a healthy, functioning brain.